of company.
Tonight on CTV3 News, Prime Minister John Bresenio speaks on rationale behind the increase in passport fees. Ministry of Immigration invokes Treaty of Chaguaramas. Haitians must obtain a visa to visit Belize. And update on the work of Cabinet's subcommittee tasked with charting a way forward for the sugar industry. And we'll tell you about a new app launched here in Orange Walk that will revolutionize the pharmaceutical industry. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Thursday, April 13th, 2023.
Match of the evening. Get ready for action. Here they come. Amazing. They're unstoppable. Unbeatable. They have him on the ropes. The heat rises to the top. 1, 2, and 3.
They're on fire. Chiladas.
Fire up the taste of Belize with the new Chiladas crunchy tortilla taco chips in its hot chili flavor. Fiery habanero brings the heat.
They're on fire. Chiladas.
From Snackers, done right, done here.
That'll be $50. Thank you. Wait, hey, this 50 is a fake.
How do you know it's a fake?
What are you talking about, sir? How can I identify a genuine note from a fake note?
Well, a genuine 50 has a watermark with the jaguar and the written words of the 50, also a thread.
Know your money and know a fake one when you see it. Do not rely on any one security feature. Look for the clarity and quality of printing. The printed lines and colors should be sharp and clear. Feel the quality of the paper and the raised print. Hold the note up to the light to see the windowed security thread. It should form one complete line when held up to the light. The watermark and denominational electrotype. The Jaguar is the watermark in the $100 and $50 notes. The Sleeping Giant is the watermark in the $20, $10, $5, and $2 notes. The see-through feature. The parts of the design printed on the back should fit exactly within the unprinted areas of the front to form the complete design. Check the $100 note for the toucan hologram with the periwinkle flower overprint. Tilt it to see the small images of the toucan and the numeral 100. Check the $50 note for the green foil angelfish. Check even closer. Use an ultraviolet light to see the fluorescent features. Use a magnifier to see the microlettering. Tiny letters that read Central Bank of Belize and the value of the note. Stop the circulation of counterfeit Belize currency notes. Pass all counterfeits to the police at once. It is a criminal offense to hold or use a counterfeit. Be safe, be sure, know your money.
Good evening with your news, also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. There has been much public outcry due to the recent 400% increase in the price of Belizean passports. However, the Ministry of Immigration has come out defending government's move, citing that the increase in passport prices is more in line with regional and global standards for similar documents. Additionally, the new world-class e-passport has an intrinsic higher cost due to its modern technology and security features. But while the price hike may come as a shock to some, the rationale behind it is clear, says Prime Minister John Bresenio.
We just got into government. The old passport system, the UDP government knew that it was obsolete, knew that there were no parts for the system. They discussed it in their cabinet in 2018, but did not want to make the investment to come up with a new system. And so when we get into government, the Minister of Immigration immediately brought us to attention that we have a crisis, that these passports, the machines are breaking down. I think only Belize City and Bemopan was working, even none of the rest were working, and we can't call anyone to get to the parts to fix it. And in some instances, we were taking as much as 6 or 7 pictures to be able to get one to fit in a passport. So we knew we had to bite the bullet and to do something about it. We looked at different companies. We put a bid worldwide, and we had 3 companies, and I think it's e-passports from a company from Canada that won the bid. It is a very big, it's a huge investment that we did, and we ensure now that these passports can store your biometrics. They have a microchip in it, and as you all know, there's been a shortage of microchips, so it delayed the implementation of these new passports, and secondly, the cost has gone up. I know a lot of people are very concerned about the cost, and so are us in cabinet. But we decided that then the consumers should pay for the passport. I don't think it's fair for a cane farmer that has no interest in getting a passport for them to be able to help to subsidize a passport for a person like myself that is traveling. And so what the minister did is says, okay, now we're going to move the passport from 5 years to 10 years. So in effect, your passport is costing you $20 per year. Secondly, it's a passport now that is accepted worldwide. One of the problems we're having with the European Union is that they require us to get a visa from them. And one of the reasons why they're saying that is because they did not trust the passport, how secure, how safe it is. Now that we have this new system, they say, okay, now we're taking another look, and hopefully in the near future they may say, okay, we're going to do a visa waivers for Belizeans. So it is a necessary investment, and we had to put in a new system. And secondly, we had to make sure that we could put a system or a passport system that can serve us for the next 10, 15, 20 years. And thirdly, a passport that would be accepted worldwide.
It is important to pinpoint that under the previous government, our passport system came under heavy scrutiny internationally after the disgraced minister Elvin Penner was called into question when a Korean man received a Belizean passport without ever placing foot on Belizean soil. In 2015, another passport scandal broke out. A new passport was issued to Tony Allen Pugliese, who purportedly possessed Italian and Salvadoran nationalities. Pugliese's date of birth was registered as September 22, 1953. He turned up at the Immigration Department in Bemopan on January 7, 2015, with an urgent application for a new Belize passport, claiming that the previous one, number 0249782, had been damaged. Pugliese paid for a one-day service to obtain his new passport, and soon enough it was granted to him. Later on, it was found out that the passport Pugliese had was from a batch of stolen passports. Those are only some of the reasons that have been fact-checked by the present government and highlighted as the imperative decision for replacing the former system with an updated system that makes the Belizean passport one enhanced security and at par with global standards for similar documents. Earlier this month, government announced its decision to invoke Article 226A of the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, which will allow for the Minister of Immigration to immediately impose a visa requirement for Haitians wishing to visit Belize. That decision was taken in light of the fact that over 2,000 of Haitian nationals entered Belize between March 2022 and April of this year. Of that number, over 1,900 have vanished without a trace, presumably crossing over into Mexico illegally en route to the United States. In an interview with the media today, Prime Minister John Bresenio explained his government's decision, which has been heavily criticized by leader of the opposition, Shine Barrow, who issued a release saying, quote, "The opposition denounces the Bresenio administration's violation of the CARICOM free movement rights of Jamaican and Haitian nationals guaranteed under the Treaty of Chaguaramas," end quote.
I think the leader of the opposition is suffering from attention deficit disorder. That just wants attention because he knows what is happening. We did not take it lightly. Actually, it is his father, during being the Prime Minister then, that required the Haitians to get a visa to come into Belize, contrary to the Treaty of Chaguaramas. I do not recall the then was the no leader of the opposition back then calling out the UDP saying that you're moving contrary to the Treaty of Chaguaramas. It was our government that said, you know, we need to implement the Treaty of Chaguaramas and to remove the visa waiver. But of late, we've been seeing a trend where a lot of Haitians, and rightly so, they're trying to get out of a really, really bad situation in Haiti, finding ways how to get to the United States. And now they realize that once you get to Belize, because we have a land border with Mexico, you have people that smuggle them into Mexico and take them on to the United States. The Minister of Immigration has even pointed out that there are websites in Santo Domingo or in the Dominican Republic and in Haiti where they're advertising, come to us, we will get you to Belize, and from Belize we will get you to the United States. That's human trafficking. The United States government has already been looking at us and calling our attention and saying, listen, we are seeing now evidence of human trafficking through your country. And so what is it that you're going to do? So it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. We had no other option but to remove the visa, to implement now a visa requirement for Haitians.
As it relates to Jamaican residents, PM Bresenio says that while the decision has not yet been finalized, the situation is seemingly treading down the same road.
For Jamaicans, we're seeing the same trend, but it's not as pronounced as are the Haitian nationals. So what we again have said, that it is something that we're considering. We have not done it as yet. But what we agree to, the Minister of Immigration has said that he will be speaking with the Ministry of Tourism in Belize and also with his counterpart, the Foreign Minister of Jamaica and the Minister of Immigration, to see how best we could address this. We welcome Jamaicans to come to Belize. As I said earlier, Jamaica has been a close ally of Belize from the start of our nationalist movement. We've had this history together. We work together, and the Minister of Holiness and myself, we're personal friends. From time to time, we call one another, and so it is not something that we're just going to do just on a whim. It is something that we're trying to find how best to address that issue of Jamaicans that come to Belize for them to be able to go to the United States. So that decision has not been made. It is a decision that we're looking at. We're discussing it with the Ministry of Tourism. Foreign Minister, Minister of Immigration will be also, he has been in contact with his counterparts in Jamaica. So I think the leader of the opposition is just calling for attention for himself without really thinking it through. I would have more respect for him if he would have come to me and said, well, Prime Minister, could you explain what is it that you are trying to accomplish? And we could have explained it to him. But for him to just take on such a release, obviously, as I said, no, he has an issue with attention deficit disorder. So.
But while Cabinet is deeming the move as a good one, is it possible that Belize will get a backlash at the fact that Haitians now need a visa to visit Belize, and Jamaicans may be next since we have a trading agreement with CARICOM states? That question was posed today to the Honorable Jose Abelardo Mai, who holds the portfolio for agriculture, food security, and enterprise.
I don't think I'm the most appropriate person to answer the question because Minister Imon Courtney's turf, but I will say this to you. No, I did not say that it's not viable to trade with CARICOM. I've said that it is more difficult to trade with them because they put all kinds of measures in place. In the case of we putting on requirements for visas to the Jamaicans, it has nothing to do with trade. It has to see with the human trafficking that's passing through the country. We've seen the data showing the amount of Jamaicans that come into the country and do not leave. And so where are they? Where are these Jamaicans? And so the government has to react to this. No, the Jamaican government may not be happy with it, but we also have a responsibility to act and to safeguard our borders from human trafficking. It is a global problem, human trafficking. And if the US, who's our trading partner, tells us, listen guys, you need to tighten on this, then we need to do so. So I believe that it is in the best interest of the country to do something about it. And it's also in the best interest for our Jamaican friends, government, to do something about it too, because many of these people do not reach the US. These people die on the way to the US. I've seen people, I've heard of it, I've seen families speak about it.
Following 2 weeks of intervention with the Belize Sugarcane Farmers Association and Belize Sugar Industries, Honorable Kareem Musa, Cabinet Subcommittee Chair, tasked with charting a path forward for the sugar industry, is reporting that both sides have expressed a determination to reach a fair and transparent resolution to the impasse for the good of the industry, and that serious discussions between parties are ongoing based on good faith and not tension. As you are well aware, both entities have been unable to sign a new commercial agreement, and that has come with repercussions, including the retainment of fair trade premiums for farmers of the BSCFA. That matter is also being widely discussed during the meetings held with the miller and the BSCFA, especially since it could have led to the suspension of BSI ASR by Flowcert.
We've advanced considerably well, I believe. The meetings we've had BSI has been very cordial, very respectful. We've met with the BSCFA also, and I should say that the very important topic is the fair trade premiums for the BSCFA, which they believe has been withheld, unfairly withheld from them. And based on the criteria, on the requirements for fair trade funding, they have complained to the international organization Flowcert, which is the policing body. And Flowcert, I believe, has suspended BSI from what I understand. And I think they are doing an audit of BSI. We do not know what the exact reason is, but it is as a result of the complaint. Now, they have to correct, they have to put the corrective measures in place for the suspension to be lifted. We understand that Julia Clark from Tate and Lyle, who manages fair trade, will be in the country on Monday and Tuesday to speak with BCFA on that matter. So before we move forward to a commission of inquiry and everything else, the fair trade matter has to be solved. If it is that the fair trade premiums have been unfairly withheld, then it has to be given back to them. And so that is where we are right now. But we are hoping that Tate and Lyle, BSI and BSCFA will settle this matter so that we can move forward to the Commission of Inquiry.
Minister, is it an embarrassment that such a ban was put in place and that an audit has to be conducted? It's the first time I'm hearing of it. Is it the first time that this has occurred, and is it an embarrassment as far as the sugar industry is concerned?
I don't know if it is considered an embarrassment. I know that that there must be a reason for the suspension. The Flowcert document does not specify, because that's something that's kept confidential. But I think it's more than an embarrassment. I think it's more a moment to reflect on what you have been doing. I wouldn't like to consider it an embarrassment, but it just calls for greater reflection on how you are carrying out your business with your fellow business partners.
As for the Commission of Inquiry, there is no telling when their work will commence.
Our hope is that sober minds will prevail and that we will have something positive. I've said this before to all the parties involved in the negotiations, is that a battle like this, nobody wins. The farmers lose because they can't fertilize. Productivity this year is going to be lower. We are already seeing a 20% drop in sugar production in the West. We are seeing similar trends in the North. So we are seeing a production of sugarcane going down, while the price of sugar is going up on the world market. So we are losing, BSI is losing, the farmers are losing. So nobody wins a battle like this. It is in everybody's interest that this be solved and be solved quickly. The longer we stay in this battle, the only ones that stand to lose are all of us. And so it is critical for sober minds to prevail and that we find a solution to this problem.
Today, the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise signed a Memorandum of Understanding for the Climate Resilient and Sustainable Agriculture Project, CRESAP. The MOU was signed by the Ministry of Agriculture, Belize Agriculture Health Authority, Pesticides Control Board, University of Belize, the National Meteorological Service, and the Belize Marketing and Development Corporation. The CRESAP project is being financed by an international bank for reconstruction and development loan of $25 million, $2.5 million of counterpart funds, and $18.2 million of commercial financing. Through the project, support will be provided to agricultural producers to adopt climate-smart agriculture technologies via matching grants and private capital mobilization, and investments in strategic collective agricultural infrastructure assets will be made to contribute to increased agriculture production and sustainability.
This project will intend to find ways to mitigate the effects of climate change. And there are different technologies that will be used. And so this project will provide the farmers with those services. 60 million for 25 million is grant for the farmers. We have this small farmer component and the big farmer component. And so this project is important for the sustainable development of agriculture in the country.
The Climate Resilient and Sustainable Agriculture Project is being made a reality after the government of Belize committed to support innovative climate-smart technologies, better rural infrastructure, improve linkages to financing and access to markets, and improve production practices. This project will promote the adoption of climate-smart agriculture technologies and practices and finance more resilient rural infrastructure, increasing agricultural productivity while making farmers less vulnerable to climate change, whose effects we are already experiencing.
Droughts is one. Excess rainfall. You have rainfall when, not only excess rainfall, but you have rainfall when you shouldn't have rainfall. And we have, as a result of that, we have increase in pests and diseases. For example, in the bananas down south, we have increase in sigatoka. We have new pests. For example, we have the Asian bean trip, the Bengaluru trips status, which showed up in Belize unknowingly. So we have a lot of incidences like these. For example, in Pasha right now, we had the past few months, we had excess rainfall, which affected the growth of grass pastures. And then immediately after, we had dry coming in, but real dry. And so the pastures did not even recover after excess moisture in the soil. And now it's being affected by drought. So we're seeing right now at this moment, we're seeing that the cattle farmers are going to see losses as of now. You can see the cattle losing weight. And so these are the effects of the weather patterns, which I must say to you, we should all be guilty of not managing our resources well. And so this project will address that.
The total number of direct beneficiaries that CRESAP is expected to reach are 7,300 heads of household, of whom 7,000 will be farmers. When all members of the beneficiary households are considered, a total of 29,000 individuals, 6.9% of the country's population, will benefit from the project, of whom about 28,700 will be members of farm households. In addition, through the project, the aim is for women farmers to be at least 30% of beneficiaries. The CRESAP project will also strengthen the institutional capacity of the relevant ministries and the public institutions. Given the vulnerability to climate disasters, the project contains a contingent emergency response component, CERC, as well. Present for the signing was Minister of Agriculture, Security and Enterprise, Jose Abelardo Mai, CEO Servulo Baiza of the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, and heads of the participating signatory organizations. Prime Minister John Briceño met earlier this week with UNDP Regional Director of the Bureau of Latin America and the Caribbean, Linda Mugur, during a courtesy visit to Belize. That meeting, according to Prime Minister Briceño, focused on the work currently being undertaken by GOB in areas of MSMEs, women and youth, and also structure being implemented to boost the country's economy. This is the first time a UNDP regional director comes to Belize, which PM says speaks volumes about the work his government is doing, as it is being recognized by regional and international partners.
We are very pleased to meet with I think he's the regional director. For the first time, our regional director and director from the UNDP has visited Belize. I think her name is Miss Lydia. And along with Ian King and Denise, the country representative, they have come to Belize to look at the work that they're doing, along with the work that we're doing in Belize. And when we explain to them all of the initiatives that we've been taking with the economy, with MSMEs, with women and young people, basically they're saying that our work is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. So by her visit, it shows a sort of importance that they're giving to Belize, wanting to come to take a look at the work that we're doing and to see how best they can continue to cooperate with us. UNDP has been a good partner to Belize, and they believe that we can find ways on how to strengthen it and for them to be able to do even more of the work that we do here, for instance, with digitization, with women, with young people. So we're quite excited about that visit.
The meeting also saw participation by UNDP resident representative for Belize, Denise Antonio, and Ian King of the UNDP Belize office. Coming up next, Orange Walk's very own female entrepreneur launches EV4 app. Stay tuned.
Come on!
When hungry or craving, when laughter or tears, enjoy the best snacking or flavors are here. Asadas, bocadas, chiladas, doradas, Belizean for snacking, done right and done here.
Done right, done here.
Indulge the flavor. Go beyond meat. Looks like meat. Tastes like meat. But it's better than meat. 100% plant-based. Rich in protein, 50% less saturated fat, no GMOs, no added soy, packed with benefits and sustainable. Beyond meat, good for you, good for the environment. Now available in 6 different types of products in Belize. Beyond burger, beyond sausage, beyond beef, beyond chicken nuggets, beyond chicken tenders, beyond steak, beyond meat, distributed by United Distributors Limited.
qué cosas tiene la vida. Me tocó verte partir.
Cuando menos lo esperaba, cuando te veía sonreír,
ganador de 1000 batallas, un verdadero guerrero,
excelente ser humano. Ante usted me quito el sombrero y hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tenga fuerzas. Hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tenga palabras. Hoy alzo mi voz al viento, dejando saber mis sentimientos. Y hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tenga fuerzas. Hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tenga palabras. Hoy alzo mi voz al viento, dejando saber mis sentimientos.
y aunque estás en mejor vida, tu bella alma hoy descansa.
Pero tu memoria nunca de mi vida será borrada. Y hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tenga fuerzas. Hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tenga palabras. Hoy alzo mi voz al viento, dejando saber mis sentimientos. Y hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tenga fuerzas. Hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tos. Y hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tenga fuerzas. Hoy alzo mi voz, aunque no tenga palabras. Hoy alzo mi voz al viento, dejando saber.
The digital world is ever changing, and more persons are preferring to purchase online and have their products delivered at home. Vanessa Melendez, owner and CEO of EV4 Pharmaceuticals Limited, today launched a real-time pharmaceutical store for that same reason and will be used across the pharmaceutical and healthcare sectors. The app has already been through the phase of trial and error and was officially launched today. It is the first of its kind in Belize, and the CTV3 News was present to capture the moments. The details are in the following story with Elmer Cornejo.
Vanessa Melendez is a single mother of 4 boys who has worked arduously over the years to become who she is today, a successful entrepreneur. At a young age, Melendez dropped out of high school, but not willing to give up, she enrolled once more to complete her diploma. Envisioning a better life for herself, Melendez worked as a waiter as she put herself through tertiary education gradually, earning her associate's degree. Fast forward to today, her story is an example to many. Working in line with technology and trying to keep with evolution, April 13, 2023 will forever remain a hallmark for Melendez, as it is the day when EV4 Pharmaceuticals Limited partnered with ISHL Hardware to launch a real-time application store that can be downloaded on any device and accessible to all pharmaceuticals and healthcare sectors in Belize.
Life-changing moment was in 2010 when I decided to go back to college. That is the most, I said, the drastic changed my life there. Going back to college, because I was a high school dropout, waitressing tables and selling food. And in 2010 is when I decided to go back to college, and that is, let's say, that was the turning point. I feel proud of myself, of my accomplishment. Like I said, sometimes it's, when I look at it, it's still unbelievable at point in time, but I continue pushing forward. I love what I do. I love being in the pharmaceutical industry with the procurement. I love being there. It has a lot. It gives me a lot of adrenaline being in this field. I love it, and being the first to have now our app and our website, which is fully, it's live. It's live access to our inventory.
The COVID-19 pandemic and other crises plaguing the globe, including Belize, have brought to light the need for companies to be more purpose-driven, and EV4 is owning that today. The application will have some immediate benefits to certified clients and entities who are licensed and approved for operation in Belize.
Customers really know what we have. That is what they know. They know what we have. It's not something that they will be ordering, let's say 20 medications and get 10, What they order is what they get. You order 57 items, you get 57 of 57. And that's where I am. I like our company to stand out. Despite being a baby in the industry, I love that we can stand out where that is concerned, with the service that we're providing, with the accuracy of the inventory that we are providing to our customers, for them to be having it available at their convenience. Because sometimes when a pharmacy receives a sales rep, they have customers in and out, and then they can't really attend to the sales rep at all times. So what sometimes they do is they log in at after hours. Especially pharmacies where the pharmacist owns their own pharmacy, they need to do the purchasing after hours, because sometimes during the day, because they have a lot of traffic in and out with customers, patients, they want their medications, so they can really attend to it. But yet they have to have the medications available. So this website and our app now was designed with that in mind. For our pharmacies, registered pharmacies, mind you, we only sell to registered facilities, registered by Ministry of Health and Wellness due to the regulations that are. And they can purchase at their own timing, and yet, I guess at their own convenience. That's the main thing. Purchase at, to say no, you have it on your phone, so just click and go. The whole process can be done through the phone, and what some customers do is they write down their order. So when the sales rep comes in, they say, you know what, this is your order for you.
Alvaro Ispe, who owns ISHL Hardware, is the main developer of EV4 app. Today he told us that while the platform had to undergo several trials before its launch, today EV4 has seen an upscale in sales since its introduction.
Ms. Vanessa contacted me. She gave me what sounded like a complicated process, a point of sale system, a website, and an app. And we started working with her since September last year, and throughout the time we formalized the process and realized it's pretty simple, pretty simplistic. So what we did is we connected a POS, we created an online store for her, we had those two work together. And then about 3 weeks ago, she gave me a call that she wants to go for an app. She's ready to go for the app now. Something that she didn't want to do before for security measures, but seeing how the public took on the website and enjoyed the software, she realized it's needed, something in demand. So she gave me the call and we began the process. It took us about 2 weeks to get it in the Google Store. The Apple Store is a little bit, has more requirements and criteria, but we're pretty much already there. We had a 2 week trial and error period where Ms. Vanessa went and tested it on her own for a while, and then she got one of her customers to use it, her very first customer to use it. We did realize we had to make some changes then, like every app, we have some bugs in the beginning, but we worked it through, and I would say about 2 weeks after she got satisfied, she reached to a point where we got satisfied, and then her customer just started loving it and started to grow. She went from about 5 customers in 1 week to about 20 customers by the end of the month. So it was quite an increase of customers on the server. I saw it on the server load. So it went pretty fast for her, and something that's growing, and I expect her to actually grow 10 times more now with the app.
But there is no shying away from the fact that the digital world is one with many glitches. But That is not the case with the EV4 app, as it is even protected from hackers.
First of all, she sells pharmaceuticals, which is not anyone has the license to buy pharmaceuticals online. So we have to go through the process for a specific sign-up process so that you can have your account, and which Ms. Vanessa actually approves your account individually one by one after you get your credentials, your license, and your photograph. Then from there we actually have some HD captcha and other firewalls in place just for hackers online. Something that it may not be common knowledge for everyone, but there's always hackers online trying to spoof your information, get your password, get your ideas now. And then as well, also we introduced a software called Talk2, which Ms. Vanessa has access to, that allows her to know exactly when someone is in her website, what page they're looking at, exactly who it is, where it's from, which computer, which device. So she knows exactly who is on her website, what time, from which device, which district, which location. So more or less she has complete control of her website. And all we did was facilitate that and digitize that process for her now.
And in line with Plan Belize and the MSME's Sport Program, ERA representative for Orinda Walk Central and Prime Minister of Belize, the Honorable John Briceño, was present at today's launch.
Here we have a young lady, Vanessa, who through grit, as we would say, has come to this point. As I pointed out earlier, and she mentioned, she was a single mother. She had 4 children, working as a waitress, very intelligent young lady, but did not have the opportunities, and decided to say, I'm going to try to see how I can make something for myself. Finish high school, and she was just now, she was telling me, he said, I had to sell food during the day to be able to go to school at night, and then get into the industry, work with a hospital and other distributors, and learn the business, and decided that she can do it even better. This fits exactly with Plan Belize. In Plan Belize, we're saying that we want to create opportunities for Belizeans in the economy, but in particular to women and young people and MSMEs. She fits every category of what we're talking about. So I'm so proud of what she's doing, using the website, and so that people can go online and do their orders, and not to go a step further to say, well, you have it on your phone. You could take out your phone and order right there as you somebody shot or something. You could immediately order it. I'm very proud of Vanessa, and I wish her well. And I hope that more Belizeans, especially young people, can use her as an inspiration, as an example that with hard work, and that is one of the things that, an ingredient that's missing in Belize, that we think that everything should come easy. It is with hard work that you can succeed in Belize.
EV4 is positioned to be the first online pharmaceutical app to be introduced in Belize, and will make shopping easier, convenient, dependable, and efficient for licensed pharmacies.
But I know a customer logs in daily, and he always tells me, when a customer comes to his pharmacy, he would say, right now, even though he might not have it physically in stock, he logs in on the website, types the active ingredient. You know what, miss? I don't have this, but I have this. And then she says, okay, I will want it. What they say, just send less than 5 minutes. Tell the customer, just wait 5 minutes, and the item is delivered. What this facilitates is that all you do is type the beginning letters of the active ingredient, and then this would show you all possibilities with that active ingredient. So that is one of the big features that this website now app will be having available for all customers.
All images of products are taken at the facility, so what is seen on the web and app is available for immediate purchase. The app also has a chat feature available. EV4 is satisfied that with the new app, the company will live by their mission, which is, our commitment goes beyond medicine. Elmer Cornejo, CTV3 News.
Cabinet met on Tuesday and discussions centered on the effects of global inflation on the cost of living in Belize. Following a meeting with the Chinese retail community, Cabinet has issued instructions for meetings with major importers and wholesalers with a view to eliminating gouging or bloating at every level of the supply chain. While inflation is a global pandemic, government realizes that it must do everything in its power to mitigate the impact on our people, says Minister of Agriculture, Hosemai.
It's easy to pass the buck. Say, oh, I'm not gouging. I'm just reacting to the price I'm being sold. And so they are saying we need to meet with the importers, and that is exactly what our team is doing this week. They are planning a meeting with the importers, one. And two, on Monday, my CEO and my the director of supplies control is meeting with the public service, because they are the ones who asked them, who requested to be included and expressed desire to help in trying to curb the supposedly gouging. And so we will meet on Monday to plan how we move with that, and plan even the training of the public servants who will be policing the stores. I think what is being reflected here is not that the amount of imports increase, but the value because of the inflation. So if I was importing one container of let's say, baking powder today, I'm still importing it yesterday, I'm still importing it today, but that value has gone up because of the inflation, worldwide inflation. So it appears that monetary-wise, yes, it has increased, but the same amount has come in.
And one commodity that has seen an increase recently is what can be found on every Belizean plate daily: chicken. Today, Minister Mai was asked to explain the reason behind the hike.
I do know that there is a shortage of, there's a demand, I should say, a demand for poultry in the region. Yeah. CARICOM, who is a net importer of poultry from the U.S., the U.S. has the cheapest poultry, it's heavily subsidized. But even so, it appears from the producers of poultry in our country, it appears that our price at this time is competitive with other producers. And so the CARICOM is looking to this side now to see if we can supply some of the shortages they have in the region, because Mexico has avian influenza. I think the U.S. has it too. I mean, I was in Naples a couple of months ago, and they were selling a chick, a day-old chick, for $20 US. Right? And there were the people offering it to those who live in rural areas, a chick for $20 US. And I remember one of my friends saying, oh, that's craziness, you know. But it just shows you that the price of poultry is high, the demand is high, and therefore it's a market opportunity for countries like us, because we are self-sufficient in poultry production, and corn and soybean now. Yeah. And so that is a plus for us, right?
Today marked day 2 of the 53rd Annual Belize National Teachers Union Convention, which was hosted here in Orange Walk Town. The main event for today was the election process to select 3 new representatives of the BNTU National Executive, including that of National President, First Vice President, and National Secretary. BNTU members of all 10 branches across the country voted for over 3 hours this afternoon, and counting is currently underway at the Muffles College Auditorium. The position of National President is being contested by 3 longtime educators and union members, including Ruth Schumann from Corozal, Ifasina Ifunemi from the Sand Creek District, and Ray Martinez of Toledo Rural. The position of First Vice President was contested by Jorge Mejia and Edison Ogaldes, while the position of Secretary is being sought by Armin Cardenas and Bay Rivas. Keisha Williams remained uncontested in the post of National Treasurer. Our team is currently on site at the Muffles College Auditorium awaiting the results of today's election process, and will bring you those results in tomorrow's newscast. And while we are yet to find out who will take over the realms of one of the largest unions in Belize, today Prime Minister John Bresenio told the media he is prepared to continue working with the leaders of the union despite the difference in opinions.
We've always seen the BNTU as a partner. We've never seen them as an adversary. And that was, again, the problem previously, that the government felt that they have to be fighting with BNTU because they don't support whatever it is initiatives they may do. The BNTU has their own agenda, or they see things differently in many instances. Sometimes we see eye to eye, and sometimes we don't. But that's a part of it. That's a part of a democracy, whereby people can speak out for or against of what you're doing. We went through a difficult period we were trying to see how we can cut salaries, and they argued strongly against it, and even demonstrated in some instances. But despite all of that, we never lost respect to one another. We respected them, and as I always said, it is their right if they want to demonstrate. they have their responsibilities to their membership, and we have our responsibility to the country to ensure that during that time. So we may have our differences, but we work together. Actually, it was under my, as Prime Minister, I recommended Senator Elena Smith to be able to be recognized to get under the what is it, MB, I think, or one of them that we give her for the recognition of the work that she has done, not only as a teacher and educator, but also as a leader and a union leader. Today they're going to elect a new president, so I want to take the opportunity to thank Elena for the outstanding work that she did. You know, she's a firebrand, but when we meet person to person, she is calm and determined and have her position. But we work together, and that's what I have great respect and admiration for her, for to be able to do that. I wish them well with the new in the new elections of a new executive, and I want to point to say now that whosoever the new executive is and whosoever is the new president, our government is prepared to work with them as partners in the development of our young people in education.
During Cabinet's meeting on Tuesday, ministers were also advised that the process to resume the payments of performance-based increments to public officers effective 1st of April 2023 has commenced. There was unanimous agreement that moving forward, increments must be based on actual performance, and every discussion with the joint unions must include the implementation of a comprehensive, objective, and real appraisal system. Cabinet gave its support also for the adaptation of the recommendations by the Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations in conjunction with the Belize Tourism Board to amend the agreement between government and Belize Island Holdings Limited in relation to the Harvest Key Cruise Port in southern Belize to improve and define the future growth and development of the Harvest Key Port. A recommendation for amendments to the Law Revision Act to better reflect the current state of law with respect to money laundering and the Terrorism Prevention Act was also made. These amendments will be introduced at the next sitting of the House of Representatives. In the area of marine, Cabinet gave its approval for the ratification of the World Trade Organization Agreement on Fishery Subsidies, which will establish new global rules for eliminating harmful subsidies and protecting global fish stocks. It was also requested by Cabinet that a subcommittee comprising sustainable development, energy, natural resources, rural development, and agriculture meet to follow up on the strategies for water resources management, including aquifers, ground, and surface water. Our Belize tourism industry has been blooming considerably over the past 18 months. It is considered a huge accomplishment for the Briceño administration due to effects and after effects of the COVID-19 pandemic that has shattered many economies around the world, especially for countries who depend heavily on the influx of foreigners. Belize is no exception, but luckily with several moves made by the Belize Tourism Board with the support of the Ministry of Tourism, the last fiscal year report indicates that some 370,000 visitors passed through Belize overnight for 2022. The reason we bring you all these facts is to highlight the need of development in regards to our transport system. While it has already been announced that our local bus operators must upgrade their bus fleet and services, the government has also decided to see the reintroduction of ADO buses from Mexico and Fuente del Norte from Guatemala into Belize. While the move might seem polemic to some for Prime Minister John Briceño and Cabinet, it's all about offering Belizeans and foreigners top-of-the-line services.
It is something that was here before, and because of the pandemic, it was stopped. But our tourists, the people that are coming into Belize, they pay a lot of money to come to Belize. And it is unfair to have them to be riding in these buses that we have in our country. I know some of our bus owners are complaining, saying, well, we are allowing them to come in, but we can't go into Mexico or we can't go into Guatemala. Yes, they can, but the buses have to have a certain standards, and they don't meet that standard. The Ministry of, there have been a lot of lobbying from the tourism industry and the Ministry of Tourism to saying, well, you know, tourism is almost back to, I think this year we're going to surpass the 2019 record, which was the highest numbers of visitors that we've ever had. And they were making the case, but we can't have our tourists riding in these buses. So the idea is to continue Arrivo coming to Belize City, not picking up Belizean passengers or picking up international passengers, or if Belizeans are going to Merida, that they could jump in an Arrivo. And likewise is what is happening with the route to Guatemala. It is something that was done before, and it's something that it's inevitable. We have to do.
Sir, and will it be
But with the need comes measures that must also be adhered to.
Israel has implemented?
Well, we don't have to wait for that. Once they meet the standards, then we can go and put pressure on the governments, Guatemala and Mexico, to say our buses are meeting the standards that you have in your country, and so we'll be able then to demand, one, that they can do that, but more importantly, if we have good buses in Chetumal, coming Belizean buses to Chetumal to Belize, a tourist, when they get to Chetumal, they don't need to go to an ADO. They could jump in a Belize bus because it meets the standards. So it can work both ways. It could work to our advantage, that we can move these passengers coming into Belize, and at the same time that we can go and go into the to operate within the highway network within Mexico and Guatemala. Sir.
On May 1st, 2023, ADO will be providing services from Belize City to Merida and Cancun, while Fuente del Norte will be providing services from Belize City to Flores and Guatemala City starting April 21st, 2023. Today, 10 Belizean students met with U.S. Ambassador Michelle Kwan at the U.S. Embassy before they departed for the United States. The students will participate in the U.S. Department of State's 2-week Youth Ambassador Exchange Program. The Youth Ambassadors Program engages higher school students from the region in leadership development, civic education, and community service to help create positive changes in their communities. Through this program, we are honored to support these trailblazers and provide them with tools and networking opportunities to inspire them to meaningfully contribute to Belize's development and prosperity. We are empowering advocates for change and leaders of tomorrow, the U.S. Embassy in Belize noted. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Friday, April 14th here on CTV3 and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at CTV3BelizeNews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at Facebook.com/CTV3BelizeNews or our YouTube channel at CTV3 News BZ. Remember to wash your hands and remain safe. From all of us here at CTV3 News, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.